another example of being punished for expecting medical practitioners to be patient-centered, follow the Hippocratic Oath, is they're not doing it right away, loading my file on the USB. But I'm leaving. I said, you want me to leave a $30 USB here? Okay. They sure believe they deserve the trust when they violate it, and I document it. And for some reason, because they've been criticized, I can't be trusted. I'm different than the norm by living by human standards. They also won't make a photocopy, like just black and white of the first page of what they filled out so far of the medical, and they are not going to reimburse the medical now. She'll do it next time. She's too busy. And I did ask the letter where I kind of fire that doctor's address to the clinic, but it's the doctor that answered towards the ownership informed, and that one lady, second one on the right, further back, she said, and it sounds like she might be saying that there's just maybe one owner is aware. So, they don't say, because I asked now, I said, if I call 811 again, by the way, when I call, I won't want a Northern Health related doctor. They're going to say, we got to go where you live, maybe. I'm going to say, I don't want to live here, so here's where I might try next while I'm stuck in BC, because I'm kept in poverty by the monthly benefits that I receive, but also because I'm overqualified and I make people uncomfortable, so I usually don't get to work worthy of saving up money to leave. So plus it's not transferable, my pension, to other provinces, because that would require like real Team Canada stuff. And so again, on there, it's me that has to keep coming here to accommodate the way they want to do things. So even in the refund, it's not even, even when you fire them, it's not patient-centered to get your file. I filled out their form of consent to put on USB because that's the way they say they do it. Yeah, so still wondering what to say when Acropolis Manor asks me to schedule the next date. I'm going to say, well, I've gathered evidence for years that it's hazardous to my health to be interacting with Northern Health. I didn't feel comfortable last time I was singing there. Part of it is that I wasn't feeling great because of the problems with digestion that nobody seems to want to address in that way. And it's really responsible for a lot of things. Like I don't spontaneously fall asleep. I just have fatigue because of digestion. I don't know how many times over more than a decade I've had to say it. But we don't seem to have any specialists in Northern Health or BC that specialize in the organs and the process of digestion, or gut biomes and all that stuff. So that means, again, I should go maybe to China to get medical and then bill Canada and never come back. Except they won't pay because they have to acknowledge their own failures, right? They won't do that. So I also felt they were understaffed with the residents when I did my last musical show. And that wasn't fair to the residents either. And it's strange because I had applied. And it's strange because there's a guy there who I had to get moving a little bit to start doing stuff. And who was helping. He was a new guy. I thought he was a boss or something because he's sitting on his phone. No, he's a new guy. Was there nepotism in how he was hired? Is there staff that aren't happy with the management of the recreation department there? And again, it's it's unhealthy there. So I wasn't feeling well because I went because they scheduled me on the time I work and get up really early. I did overtime and I didn't eat because I won't be able to sing properly if I kind of have a inflated gut, which I do with any kind of food really. So do I have leaky gut? I'm still doing research, but no doctors want to really do any problem solving diagnoses. The procedure to go to eliminate things, that's too much work for doctors. One thing we have to say about doctors that have helped create these issues is they've wanted to raise their elitism. They wanted to keep their numbers low. They wanted to not change the way new doctors get trained. Like here, I'm telling them, I say, I'm not happy here. And you guys, they didn't in the letter say, by the way, there's these other locations where there's general practitioners, and these ones do or don't take new patients. They didn't even bother. They didn't even bother answering whether they at that clinic. So if 811 could try a different doctor at that clinic, and then they'd say no. You know, they're skipping communication to skip steps. It's always the problems I'll have to solve later, right? Because communication that is at adult level is not expected in healthcare or school districts or post-secondary institutions, right? It's always avoiding the accountability conversations, right? The transparency, the problem solving required to even acknowledge a lot of the systemic issues sometimes. So I found out about two other clinics and one independent doctor. I don't know if they're taking new patients, but I'll have to inform 811 if they do or don't know, if it matches their knowledge of what's available. But again, I'm going to try somewhere else, and maybe over the phone there's going to be a doctor that impresses me, and I'll move there. I mean, I don't know that I want to live my life by a doctor and live there by a doctor or a hospital. But the thing is, you know, to be patient-centered, you really got to say, Martin, we don't want to just diagnose you with irritable bowel syndrome. We don't want to be intellectually lazy, because we'll never run out of patients anyways. We don't have to make any efforts in our job, right? So, and people are so afraid to lose doctors, and they're so afraid to kind of set a doctor. They don't give them the feedback doctors need to be good as doctors, and they're not motivated to be good as doctors. So, so you got to wonder, are they in the right profession? Maybe they should be salesmen, drug salesmen, instead of doctors, because to be a doctor, you got to be patient-centered, you got to reference others, you got to be community-minded, and you got to always be willing to grow and learn and improve and self-assess, right, and receive feedback. Same thing, a lot of post-secondary institutions in Canada don't even give feedback from the students to the teachers anymore. And these teachers are they're just crappy. They just, sometimes there's often classrooms where people are in this classroom because they're interested in that profession, and they already excel at it, and they already are better than the teachers in these professions. And you wonder again, who wants to write a letter like the one I did to my master's faculty and say, I'm not sure who the student and the teacher is, but I know that certified teachers and post-secondary staff are kind of rebellious of the concept of learning. So anyways, I'm going to wait for them to call me to give me that refund and to give me my file. And my file, what I really want to see is if there's been some sneaky other things to punish me, like things sent to Road Safety BC, so that she does something like, he won't do that, and that's what I wanted him to do. It's not about him, it's about me as a doctor. She might say, well, maybe Martin falls asleep anytime and he won't do the testing. And what I found out is there's a place that does that across the street here. But the call I got was from Prince George. So am I supposed to go to Prince George? And who's paying for that? That's a pretty expensive trip. I mean, they won't even pay things for me to go to Terrace here, the BC Ministry of Poverty Creation and Northern Health. So again, you're just creating poverty and illness in my life as I interact with you, because you don't want to live by human standards. You don't want to walk the talk of the definitions of sentience and sapience, which I would talk to you about and what that looks like if you ever allowed me to give free professional development training. Free.